give you extra points for printing out the hard copies. And I will tell him who have prepared this the cover page of your slides possible for your future presentation. So thank you for making the efforts for the preparation. So why don't we open each one of your copies, the cover page, so we can take a look and then we can learn from each other. Okay? So now, why don't we start from Hannah's? Okay? Is that okay, Hannah? Okay, Hannah's. Okay. Wait, let me turn off the lights. Okay, this is Hannah's. Okay, this is Hannah's cover page. We can see this is the big picture, the full-size picture. It's good. You have the mask on the right-hand side, and the text, and the image on the left-hand side. Okay, my suggestion, anyone would like to say something or comment on this page? What do you think? Something can be improved or something can be changed to have different impact, visual impact. Anyone would like to say something? 你们觉得哪里还可以改变？ What about the font size? 字体的大小。What about the font size of the text? Bigger. Thank you, Grace. Good. I think these can be bigger. Okay? Alright, good. So these can be bigger, and what can be smaller? So this is bigger, and what can be smaller? Your name, affiliation, okay? Alright, this part can be smaller. So bigger to emphasize the title of your presentation. And here you can make this text smaller. But I like this picture, okay? That matches the images, matches with the text, okay? And the other one is, I would say, eliminate ice melting. Leave only this part. That is powerful enough. Okay, so leave this part. Eliminate, delete this part, and make it more focused on the title here. Okay, so this is Hannah. And is this the icon one? Okay, this is a little bit different what I expect.
The bigger one is just like a short video.
What?
This one is a short video that it can move. Yeah. Is this one?
The icon?
No, the bigger image.
Oh, you mean the text is bigger?
No. The picture, yeah. That one is just like it has the animation so that it can move.
Oh, I see. Oh, there's an animation here, but it doesn't move at this point. Okay. But for this full size picture, that's my suggestion. Okay. Thank you. Let's see Jason's. Oh, okay. This is Jason's the icon one, the flat design one. 就是扁平式设计. Okay. Here is the icon. Here is the title and the presenter. Okay. What I would suggest for Jason, or anyone would like to say something before I provide my comments? Anyone would like to say something regarding this design? The flag design? No? Okay, one thing for Jason or for everyone. Here, you need to capitalize the first letter of the first word, first letter of every word on the cover page, on the title. 懂吗？第一个字母的第一个字母都要大写。For the title, for heading. Okay, 所以标题，那所以 you need to capitalize 大写。Use uppercase for letter W. 这样 OK 吗 ，Jason? Okay, so you need to capitalize the first letter of each word in the cover page, and then put presenter. You need to put presenter and the name of the class. Okay, so or the name. I'm sorry. Which department you are from? Okay, so presenter, Jason. No, not just Jason. Jason, 你的 last name 是什么？姓什么？啊？张。Okay, Jason Chen. You need to give a full name. 全名这样 OK 吗？ You need to give full name, and then give your affiliation. 就是你是什么单位的 ？So provide department of blah 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 blah. Okay, Department of Marine Management or whatever, which department you are from. Okay, so at least two things: presenter and the department. Is that okay? All right. Okay. So that's flag design for Jason. Let's look at Jason's full-size picture. Okay. Now, global warming. Okay, this one is good. The picture. For the tips, you have followed the tips. The text on the top. Or oh no. It's okay that you put text on the top and the image on the lower part of your images. Okay. Then again, this part, full name and the department to show your affiliation. Okay. And you use all capital like uppercase. 就是所有都是大写。在这一张 OK. Okay, you can use all uppercases for the cover page. But remember, don't use all uppercase for your following slides. 所有的大写字都大写是可以放在 heading, only for heading. You can use all capitalized letters, but for the text, 底下内文 please don't use all capitalized. Okay, that is very difficult for the audience to read if you use all capitalized letters. Okay, I like these images. Good, thank you. Let's take a look at Grace. Okay, here is Grace. Okay, global supply chain broke down. Okay, breakdown. Sorry. Okay, again, similar suggestion for Grace. Use full name, Grace Zhang Chen. Okay, and then give the department's name under your name. Okay. This is okay, as I said, all capitalized the letters for the cover page is okay, but for the remaining pages, especially for the text, okay, for the content, use only lower cases, okay. And this image is good, okay, and then the sky part is for the text, okay, it's okay. All right, good images. And let's look at the flag design. Oh, okay, this is cute. I like this icon. Again, I would say, if I were you, I will probably put this icon on the left-hand side and leave these title on this part. So left side is the icon and right hand side. Instead of putting on the top of the cover page, I will move it to this area, the heading on this area, and lower the position of presenter, grade, student, which I think will be much balanced. Okay, so that's my suggestion for you. But cute icon, appropriate icon. Okay, that's for Grace. Okay, let's see, Owen. Okay. Okay, analysis of the impact of shipping company dispatch and the replacement occurred during COVID. Wow, very professional. Okay, again, same for Owen. Okay, presenter Owen's phone name. You need to provide your last name. Owen 的姓什么 Chen. Owen Chen. And the program, your graduate program, the name of your graduate program. For those who are Chinese users, 这些使用中文的同学，你们注意一下你们的这个什么号冒号。你们有没有发现这个冒号是哪里的冒号？
中文的。
Yes, very good. 刚刚 Grace 也是，Jason 也是。我不知道接下来是不是。不要用中文的冒号。This is in English environment interface. So 用英文的冒号，你会发现英文的冒号是靠左，然后中间有一个 space。你用中文的冒号是 in the middle between two words. So use the column of in English interface. 在英文的界面用英文的冒号，这样 OK 吗 ？Okay, and let me ask you a question. Does Owen need to capitalize the first letter of each word? Owen 需要大写每一个字的第一个字母吗？像这么长的，
不用。
不用。但是有更好。Okay, so Owen, either way is fine. You can capitalize the first letter of each word, or for the long title like this, if you use lowercase 小写也 OK， 那 OK 吗 ？Okay, and I would say if you, I liked the waves. This is very appropriate, and I think these two are appropriate. But I would say, I would suggest to you to put your icon on the left hand side and put your words, your text on the right hand side. So move these two icons to this side and then move the text to the right hand side. 这样子不会太复杂，因为这里也有，这里也有，这里也有，把它放在这边，然后字放在那里。I think， 然后我甚至觉得你只要一个 icon 就好，然后拉大一点，有点像 Grace 刚刚这样子。Okay, that's my suggestion. But I think this is a very good design of flag design. 那我们看一下，欧文的这个。Okay. 这三个人被挡到。These three people are in action. 我觉得有点可惜。We would like to see their action. So why don't you move your the title a little bit up? Yes, and let's show. 但是尽量不要让我们看到屁股，只看到屁股。因为你如果挪上太大点 ，OK, you need to be careful with the position where you put your the text because these three individuals are showing their back, so you don't want your audience to focus on the lower parts of their body. So. My suggestion is, why don't you try to change the picture, okay, of this cover page, okay. And then the other thing is, okay, for you and for Jason, I would suggest you to remove the line. Do you see the line here?
Yeah.
You can remove the line of the mask. Then that will be more beautiful. Okay, so remove the line of the mask. 把这个线条去除掉，会比较漂亮。Okay. Okay, good. Thank you, Owen. And then Andy. Oh, okay, got it, thank you. Okay, maritime business. Okay. So again, remove the line, Andy. 把这个线条去掉 for the mask. Okay. That's a good picture, good visual, but you forgot to put the presenter and the affiliation. Okay. Right.
I just fixed the picture, but I don't know why it's still like that. Yeah.
Okay, so this is another cover page using the flat design. 是，
没有，这是扁平的。
这是扁平的嘛，对不对 ？OK， 扁平设计。OK， jungle。OK。What's the title of this page? Just jungle.
Just jungle, yeah.
Okay. My suggestion is to make your heading more focused. Okay, still for 像刚刚 Owen 的 for Owen's it's very focused, but this heading is quite general. 范围很广. So marine business, what aspect of marine business that you will focus on? Are you going to focus on the pollution that caused by marine business? Or are you going to focus on the challenges of marine business caused by COVID-19? You see what I mean? This is very broad topic. And then you may want to focus, narrow down for the audience. So when the audience see the title of the presentation, they will probably know, oh, I guess what you are going to present in the next. Okay, so make it more focused, okay? And same for this heading, for this title. It's very broad, jungle, what area, what aspects of jungle that you will focus on. You need to narrow down, okay? Okay, thank you, Owen, but I like this very colorful design, okay? Definitely meets with the title here, okay? Okay, that's for Owen and Abby. Andy, where's Andy? Oh, Andy, I'm sorry, that's for Andy. Okay, this is it Abby or Mandy? Okay, good, I like this picture. Okay, ocean freight forwarder. But I like the color of this picture. But what's the object? It looks like submarine. Is it submarine? 这是不是 Oh, the pipeline. The pipeline. I see. Ocean freight forwarder. Would you like to find a picture that showed the ocean liner with cargoes on it, so we can see this is a forwarder? That's my suggestion. But the color of the picture looks okay. Okay, and don't forget to put your name and the affiliation here. Okay, but I like the design. Okay, this line is quite effective. Okay, here is the cover page. 这是 cover page 吗？ 另外一个 design 还是这已经是内文 ？Is this the content or the cover page？ Huh？ 平面化设计 ，OK。Then you need to have the title, the same title, okay? Ocean freight forwarder, same as the previous one. And then put your name and affiliation here. Okay, this one looks like the content of your presentation. 看起来像内文，不是像封面。Okay. Okay, so ocean freight forwarder, ocean freight forwarder. I would suggest you to use only one icon. Okay. Okay, good. I like this picture. And let's look at Abby. Oh, Abby. Very good. And it's in Chinese, so I like this slogan. 非常有力，港口在进化，码头自动化。甚至我觉得应该倒过来，码头自动化，港口在进化。应该是 This is the cause automation. This is the cause, and this is the effect. 这是结果。Okay, revolution of the ports. 应该要再倒过来。But I love this slogan. If you know Chinese, this is a very good slogan. Very good quality of picture showing the port. Excellent. I love it. Okay, and let's look at. This is good. Okay, 2 icons. Okay, and the heading big enough, the font size. But Mandy, 你可能跟 Abby 讲一下。Again, similar with yours. She needs to include the name and the affiliation. Okay. All right. Okay. Any questions? Thank you for providing this example. Yes, Tracy. Go ahead.
Professor, I already uploaded my file, so I can help you to take a look.
Right now?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Yeah. Go ahead. 等 Tracy 弄完。
I prepared 3 slides.
Okay. Is it on the desktop now?
Yes.
Okay, on the desktop. And then Jenny, why don't you put yours on the desktop?
And
Okay, now let's look at 这个应该是 Jenny。Where's yours? Where's Tracy? Tracy? I don't see yours. 哪一个？右下角没有，这个是我的。这个吗？哦 ，user。刚刚跑去哪里？download。
that is credit class.
Where? Friday class. I see. Got it. Okay.
Thank you, Professor.
No problem. Friday class. 直接在这里。Okay, so let's look at Tracy's.
ideas.
But any suggestion? Anna, would you like to say something to your friend Tracy?
The background picture is going to be like a full screen. And
Okay, full screen.
the color of the topic.
Change the color of the topic. Yes.
Size a little bit bigger and change to the black color.
Okay, so Tracy, do you see the effect here? We actually can't clearly see the words
Yes.
because the color contrast, 这个颜色的对比, the color contrast isn't that effective. So I would say use this as a full size picture and how do you say that? Okay, and tone down the background color of this picture. And then you use the different color to contrast for the text to have a better contrast. Okay? Alright, okay. And for the flat design, this picture is very colorful. You either can provide a mask for your title. Otherwise, the contrast isn't that clear. You know, here is the differences I would like to remind you. Maybe you see from your computer is a good contrast, but through the overhead, because of the light, the contrast is not so effective. So use darker color for your text.
Okay.
Okay?
About
是 Yes.
这个
Go ahead, you can use Chinese.
这个是要做跟期末报告有关的，这是封面。
Not necessary, but if you can have the topic for your final presentation, this is good too.
哦，因为我主题还没有想到，所以我内容就做跟报告有关的。
没有关系。先这样子 we only see the design for this preparation, for this demonstration. Okay, and here again, you need to have a bigger font. Okay, and then I would say make it smaller and have a bigger font. And don't forget to provide your full name and your affiliation, your graduate program. Similar for this, okay? I would say make it, if this is an icon, I guess this is an icon, right? So make an icon smaller on the left-hand side and use this text bigger for and put it on the right-hand side. Okay? Sure. Okay, thank you. And then finally, let's look at Jenny. Okay, Jenny, very cute. How to choose Christmas gift? She used a mask, okay, and the background picture is Christmas, and then I think the picture match with this the image, the title. But I would suggest you to remove the line. 线条把它拿掉。你们看到这个 mask？ 这个遮罩有线条，把它拿掉。And okay, one thing I would like to ask you. What about the font style? Font style. This is a very different font style, right? With quirky lines, you know? What do you think this font style? Does this match with the topic and the picture? I think they do. The font style is okay for this topic and for this picture. But think about it if it's for academic presentation. 如果这是学术的报告 Okay, let's suppose it's not for academic presentation. But if it's an academic presentation, this is probably too squirky. Okay, not so formal. Okay, so for academic presentation, I would suggest you to use more formal font style. Okay, don't use complicated font style. Okay? And for presentation, you need to have your full name and affiliation. And I guess my preference is to put the icon here on the left-hand side, and the word on the left-hand side, and your name under the heading. Your name and affiliation. Again, if this is not for academic presentation, I would say this font is okay. The style is okay. But for academic presentation, this font style, again, is probably too much fun. Okay, they need to use more formal font style. Alright, but good icon. Okay, good. Thank you all for providing your products, what you have produced, and then I hope through my suggestion you have better sense, okay, of what you need to prepare for your final presentation in terms of the cover page. Okay. All right. So as I said, we will skip the break. Okay, we will skip one break. So I'll probably have a break at 10:30. Okay, for 10 minutes. So please stay with me. Okay. All right. For those of you who were absent last week, last week we went through how to organize a presentation and how to design the visual ads. So today we will cover how to draft the script, and then I forgot to add one more thing here. Today we are going to talk about delivery. Delivery meaning how you deliver your message to the audience orally. Okay, that is delivery. So we will talk a little bit about delivery. How to deliver, use your voice, use your gesture to deliver the message to your audience more effectively. Okay, so that's what we are going to focus on today. Draft
The script, and I hope you have bring your handouts.
I hope you have bring your handouts that I distributed last week, because the information of this part will be in your handout. Okay, and so quickly remind you. Let's recap what we have went through. Last week we talked about what you want to say matches what your audience want to know. That will be a good presentation. These two aspects need to be matched, okay? And then we talk about analyzing your audience. So obviously your audience will be the professors and your classmates. And then how do you get their attention? Okay, so we talk about audience expertise, what your professor's expertise, and what your professor's expectation to hear from your presentation. So this is a very important. You need to address these two parts. And then the focus of last week's lecture is on the structure of presentation. And then we cover the principles of SCAN, right? SCAN, and then we went through each part as what's the situation, okay? Situation is to present the problem, the situation, okay, to get your audience attention. And then the strategy to explain situation is amazing facts, data, stories, personal experience, events, etc. Okay? And then for the consequences is to explain what would happen if these problems are not addressed, and then let the audience feel these issues is important and is urgent that need to be solved. And the strategy including to address the audience fear and to address what the audience wants. Okay. And then for aims, okay, the aims is for you to provide solution, improvement plans, benefits, advantages of your plan or your proposal. So that is aims. And the strategies for you to present aims is to convince the audience, tell the audience in your presentation the problem can be solved. Okay, so for instance, Abby is not here today. So for Abby, she needs to explain how automation of ports can solve or can improve the port operation or ports management. So tell the audience the problem can be solved according to your research. Okay? And here you need to explain the knowledge, give examples for your audience to explain how these problems can be solved. And the final part, needs. Okay. Okay. Needs is to tell your audience the solution are doable, feasible, can be worked, and call for action. Call for action meaning take the action now. Let's make changes now. Okay. So some strategies for your needs is to emphasize the doability, emphasize the visibility. These can be done, and these measures, the approaches, the solutions are doable. And you can use itemize, okay? And then convince your audience, let's do it, you can do it, we can do it, okay? So this is the SCAN principle: situation, consequences, aims, and needs. Okay. And then, in terms of structure, that's what we are going to focus today. In terms of structure, the script of your presentation. Here, these two parts is the hook. I think we covered this last time, right? So this part is very important, even though this only accounts for 20 to 30% of your total presentation. But at the beginning, if you cannot get your audience attention, I would say your presentation is not so successful. So at the very beginning, you need to get your audience attention. Otherwise, the audience won't listen to you from the very beginning. So the beginning is very important. And this part, the body part of your presentation, will account for 70 to 80% of your presentation. Okay? And then here, I have already covered that. For situation, this is the problem, this is the strategies. We have just covered that. Consequence, and this strategy. Okay, I don't need to go through again. So, again, now let's start from the hook part. Okay? Let's look at the hook part. Oh, we have watched the video last time. Okay? I analyzed the video. So let's start what our lecture is about. Writing the script. So now you have the idea of how the SCAN principle. And now how do you follow the SCAN to draft your script for the presentation? Okay? For situation and consequence. Here how it looks like. Okay, you need to explain the situation first, and then provide a transition from situation to consequence. And I will give you an example. in the following slides. Okay, you need to have a transition, 转折语. And I think these transitions are very important. For good presentation, usually the presenter provides good transition. So the whole presentation will sound quite fluent and coherent. Okay? And usually I spend a lot of time working on this transition. Okay? And then from consequence to aims, you need to have another transition. And from aims to needs, you need to have another transition.
Meaning,
From one topic to next topic, you need to provide transition. And for self-introduction, how do you introduce yourself? You can either introduce yourself at the very beginning of the presentation, or you can wait, like what I showed you last time in the video. The presenter wait after they explain the situation, and then they introduce themselves. So either way is fine, I think. You can introduce yourself at the beginning of the presentation or wait until you explain the situation. Okay? Okay, so basically I'm going to follow this to give you what I'm going to do. But everyone has very different topic. So today my lecture will only focus on this part. Okay, only focus on the hook part. For you, you need to work on yourself for the body part because the topics are very different. Okay, so now let's look at this part. Okay, so let me quickly ask you, do you still remember what I just said? What are the strategies for you to explain the situations? Anyone? You can think of what are the strategies that you can explain the problem to show the audience the problem? 有什么策略你可以用来解释这个现况是什么？问题是什么？ Hook, yeah, that's hook. But what's inside the hook? What you can put in the hook part, especially for the situation? Data. Very good. What kind of data? Amazing. You need to provide amazing data so the audience can pay attention. Very good. That's one strategy. Amazing data. What else?
maybe some facts and stories.
Stories. Very good. If you have story, briefly tell the audience. Starting with a story. Story, not necessarily a fake story. Story can be from the news. That you saw the story, someone's experience, or your own story, your own experience. That can be a story. So story and the news. Okay? Start with an latest or very new events in the news. So the audience feel the connection. They feel, oh, this is very relevant to me. Okay? So news. Very good. Now, let's look at some example. I think this part is in your handout, right? Okay? Alright, so situation, problem. You can say something like amazing fact and data. Okay? For instance, this is not real number, okay? This number is I made up. But I just want to show you. You can use this kind of I'll show you the real example later. Okay, you would say every 5 minutes one person in Taiwan will get cancer. Wow, this is relevant to the audience and quite shocking, right? When you sit here, okay, how many hours? We have the lecture has gone through for 18 minutes now. So during these 18 minutes, while we are in this classroom, how many people get cancer? See? If it's at the rate of every 5 minutes. So when we are in this classroom, spending 80 minutes now, okay, how many people? 8, 16 people has already got cancer. So that is amazing facts or data. It got to be amazing. Okay, so the audience will pay attention to you. Wow, this is incredible. What are you going to say in your presentation later? Events. Okay? During this summer, I don't know whether you still remember, we have series of power outage, 停电, 无预警的停电. Okay? So, do you still remember we had a series of power outage in July this year? And that everyone felt the pain of the power outage, right? And why we have the power outage? There are a lot of reasons for the power outage. But one of the reasons could be, for instance, in China, they don't have coal, 煤矿. 那为什么没有煤矿？重要一个原因 possible limited of cargoes, possible the rise of the cost, rise of the price of the coal, right? So use this news event to raise your audience, to connect the topic with your hook. So the audience will pay attention to you. What are you going to say? Okay. Or scenario. If you cannot find story, news, or data, why don't you ask the audience to imagine. Imagine you were a sea turtle. If you're going to tell the audience, okay, there's a problem of marine pollution. And then you all probably have seen the picture that a straw, 吸管, were stuck in the sea turtle's nostril. 有没有看过那个？ 对不对？ Okay, that's the sea. So imagine you were a sea turtle, and then you swim in the sea, and everywhere is straw, garbage. So ask them to imagine. Or what if there's no electricity in the long hot summer days in summer in Taiwan? Okay, what if you don't have the power, electrical power in Taiwan in summer days? We got no electricity for air conditioner during the hot summer day because of the power outage. And how do you draw your audience attention to your topic of your presentation? And these are some examples. So imagine if you can think of any data, find any data, or if cannot find any relevant news, use imagine or what if. Okay, the key words is to start the sentence. 开始的 sentence 就是 imagine or what if. Okay, is that okay? All right. That's some of the examples for the hook, for the situation and problem. Story. Okay, for instance, you are going to emphasize the green product. Okay, and then you cannot find any stories. Why don't you find it from the news? For instance, Jessica Alba, okay, the famous actress, movie star, she started a company named The Honest Company. And this company sells green product to save the environment. And this is a very good example of a successful businesswoman's story. Okay? Or Louisa. 你们大家都知道 Louisa Coffee, 对不对？ Louisa Coffee used the remains of the coffee beans and to make it a material for the mug. And this is an example for business to bring green revolution. Green revolution. Produce green products to save the environment. So these are all good stories. And then it really depends on where can I get this story? At Google, from the news. From the news I read, okay? So the story, not necessary, and if you have personal story, that even better, okay? So use story to explain the situation and the problem. Have you ever thought about the coffee mug we use, the paper cup, actually is a source of pollution as well. So what if you can recycle these trash or garbage and then into something useful? And that is a very good example. And can you think about the story for the topic that is relevant to your presentation? Okay, then you need a transition from situation to self-introduction, remember? Here, you need to have a transition from situation to self-introduction. Let's see the example. How do you go from explaining? So you have explained the situation. How do you go from situation to transition to self-introduction? Let's look at this example. Okay, now, how do you transit from the situation to self-introduction? Here are some sentences. You may be wondering, what does these story, and give some adjectives. 给它一些形容词. You may be wondering, what does this successful story of Jessica Alba relate with today's presentation that I'm going to share with you? So give these transitional sentences. You may be wondering, why did I ask you the sea turtle? How does the sea turtle relate with the topic that I'm going to present? This is the transitional sentences for you. Or that's a successful story of Louisa Coffee, right? But what does this have to do with today's presentation? Okay, so give a transition. And this transition will make a very big difference for your presentation. Trust me. This will connect every point of your presentation and make it more fluent and coherent. 一句 transition 会让你的 presentation 大大的不同。Okay, so 学起来吧 copy it. Copy the sentence for your presentation, okay? So you have the transition. And then after the transition, then you introduce yourself. Hi, my name is Anna. Hi, my name is Sandy. Hi, my name is Tracy. I am the student, graduate student from department or graduate program of blah, blah, blah. I am Grace. I'm from the department of blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm here today to share with you. Then you can give them the topic of your presentation. Okay, so here. So if we combine two sentences together, you may be wondering, what does Jessica Alba or Louisa's coffee successful story related with the presentation I'm going to share with you today? Hi, my name is Grace. I'm from department of the. Today I'm going to share with you the topic of, and then this topic, because Louisa's coffee blah 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 blah, is how they relate with your topic. Okay, so give them the self-introduction. And then, okay, now the structure is, okay, now we are now here, right? Okay, you have introduced yourself. Then you're going to give them the consequences, okay? Okay, transition from problem to consequence. Okay, if the problem continues to be ignored, if the situation continues, what would happen? Then this is to address the audience fear. If we don't solve the problem, what would happen? Okay, if we don't solve the marine pollution, the marine creatures will be extinct by 10% in next 10 years, for instance. That's the fear. Or you can address the want. Okay? The old approaches are outdated and now we have new options. Tell them you can have this want. 以前的方法过期了，我现在要跟你讲 new options. And that's what you want and what we want. Okay? So address to their fear. If the problem are not solved, what will happen? Or the measures or approaches are old. We need to have new ones. And that's what we want. Okay? So transition from problem to consequence. Okay? And then there are some common phrases for presentation. For any presentation, you can use these transitional phrases. Okay? Now, I have to tell you what we fear. Now, I would like to draw your attention to the solutions that I'm going to share with you. I'd like to point out the solution for you. Allow me to show you the solution for you. Let me show you the solution for you. Would you be interested in learning the new solutions? Or I'm going to show you. So use these very common transitional phrases for any kinds of presentation. Okay, so you can connect the idea quite well. So these are all in your handout. Okay. Okay, then transition from consequences to aims. Okay, now we are at here. Now we are at consequences to aims. We are at this transition. Okay, how do you transit from consequence to aims? Okay. Transition from consequence to aims, you can say, use the sentence to begin with to. Okay? To solve the problem, we can to avoid the consequences, to help the ocean to blah blah blah. Okay? Use 不定词片。Use the how do you say the 突然想不起来英文怎么说。Use the sentence to solve the problem, to avoid the problem, to help blah blah blah, and that is a good transition from consequences to aims. Okay? And then finally, for the needs, that is call for action. If you support our mission, why don't you? What are you waiting for? That's stop the pollution so we can save the ocean. Okay, call for action at the end of your presentation. That's the needs. Okay, all right. So questions, comments so far? Now next, I'm going to show you how I connect these. And this is not in your handout. If you like to, you can take a picture of it, okay? Now, let me show you the example introduction and hook. Introduction/hook. Okay, here, the first thing is you need to greet. You need to greet the audience and the professor. So the first sentence would be, good morning, everyone, or good morning, professors and classmates, or good morning, everyone. Okay, so greet first. And then start the hook. So don't forget, you need to greet. That is the manner, 这是礼貌。不要忘记了第一句很重要。Okay, so greet the audience. Good morning, everyone. Okay, and then start the hook. Okay, before I start the presentation, let me share with you these statistics, this number. 这个是真的咯。Now the statistics is the real one because I checked last night. Okay, Do you know in Taiwan, one person would die from lung cancer every hour? This is real. Because I checked the number. Every year in Taiwan, 10,000 people die from lung cancer. 每年有1万人死于 lung cancer， 肺癌。是不是有谁要做 air pollution？ 是 Jason 吗？不是。Last week I forgot someone is going to talk about air pollution.
I talked about.
You did it? Okay. Now, here is the statistics, the number in Taiwan. So, more than 10,000 people die from lung cancer every year in Taiwan. So, I divided into day. I divide 10,000 people by 365 days a year. And that will be, 我把它除以1万除以365天. So, one person would die from lung cancer every hour. Do you know that? That means 3 people would die before the end of our class today. Isn't that shocking to you? So, 今天我们上完课3小时，有3个人会死掉。
Wow.
Wow. Is that shocking to you? So, don't just tell the audience the number. Interpret them. Explain to them. Okay? So, before I start my presentation, let me share with the statistics. You know, blah, blah, blah. And this is the hook. Okay? And then transition. You may be wondering, what does this statistic relate with my presentation today? So, give a transitional sentence. What does this number relate with my topic today? And then, self-introduction. Hi, my name is Anna. I'm from blah, 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 blah. In the following, I'm going to share with you the impact of air pollution on our health and what we can do to help the environment. See? Do you see the connection here? So, please adopt these sentences for your presentation, okay? So you can start by saying, okay, I'm Tracy, I'm from da da da. Today, I'm going to tell you how the air pollution can affect our health. Because so many people die from lung cancer every year in Taiwan. Okay, so this is exactly how you present your hook and your self-introduction. And then after the problem, after the situation, here is the situation and the problem, right? The amazing fact. Here, the hook is the problem and the situation. You have explained that. Okay, and then the next part. What's after situation? What's after situation and problem? Scan. C means. Next part is consequence, right? So we are going to move to consequence. So the consequence. You tell the audience, if the air pollution continues, more people will suffer from lung cancer. Possible, you and me are possible to get lung cancer. That's the consequence, right? We are at consequence. So to solve the problem, we can blah blah blah. And this part is the aims, your goals. And then you go on to organize your goals, your advantage, your proposal, your solutions. And then I'm not going to continue. So you get it? Now you get it how to structure, how to write your script. 这样 okay 吗? Any questions and comments so far? So, at the beginning, you really need to get attention from the audience. So, again, let me recap. Greet. 寒暄，先问候. Greet the audience first. Okay, this is important. You need to have eye contact with your audience when you greet them. That is important. Establish eye contact with your audience. 不要这样子. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. No, good morning, everyone. Okay, you need to establish eye contact with your audience. And then start your situation by using the hook. Okay. Before I start my presentation, let me share with you these statistics. Do you know every 1 hour, one person would die every 1 hour in Taiwan from lung cancer? So before our class ends, there will be three people would die from lung cancer. Isn't that shocking to you? Okay. And later I will ask you to read this introduction. Then we can practice delivery. Okay? Okay, so I think that's time for us to take a break. So why don't we take a very short break, and then I will go on to cover delivery. Okay, so come back at, let's say, come back at 10:45, 10:45回来，好吗？ Okay, then we'll start the second half. And then you can leave, we can probably finish around 11:45.